Architectural College. We thank God for
the firm that provided all of the guidance on this project is PCA out of Somerville. One of the chief architects there, or designers, is Laura Courtney. Yes, and one of her colleagues, I forgot his name, sir? Mark. She served as also a consultant on this project. First of all, praise God and thank y'all for giving us this time. And thank you, Pastor, for just having a vision to push this forward. So as Pastor said earlier, this is a big project, a big undertaking, but we can do it. I mean, he spoke about the years that he told me, and you never thought that you'd be in this cathedral. So, I mean, anything's possible through God. I want to take a moment to recognize a few people that have also served as key people on this particular project. It's been a 5-month project. One is Gabe Bergeron. He's the director of the Gateway Initiative at the Boston Architectural College. And what Gabe does is Gabe goes out to different organizations and finds out what their design needs are. Most of these organizations can't afford to hire architects. So he leads the senior students at the BAC in initiatives similar to this to design projects. And they're really professional projects that you'll see. I also want to recognize the team. This team is huge. And not only just to recognize that they did something good for us, but school stopped. School ended 2 months ago. And they stayed on the project. The project coordinator. Chris McIntosh is one of the designers. Rick Galliano, I always mess up his last name, is also on the team, as well as Mike Swinson. So with no further ado, I'm going to let Ruby take over and run the show.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all for having us here. We are very excited to share this design with you. And if you look on the 2 screens on the side, we've got some images to share with you. So before we get into the design, we want to share with you what our ideas and inspirations were to create this design. And this really came from working with members of the congregation, and especially the teens. So the teens hosted us here for several design workshops, where they shared with us what Greater Love and the Teen Cafe meant to them, and they helped us to design their space. Right. So our design incorporates their ideas and their excitement to create a great space for them to interact and be in. So we wanted to share with you some of their quotes which really resonated with us when we started this design process. So these are responses to what does greater love mean to you? Where we can have fun while also talking about serious situations happening in our community today. A place to escape and be ourselves. They give us hope for a better future for inner city teens. Amen. We're going to take a trip back in time, and Ray is going to tell us what he discovered about the history of this site. All right.
Good morning. Good morning. So, when we looked back at the history of the church, we've also found some very interesting history of the site next door where the lumber mill sits on. So we thought we'd take you back in time and tell you a little bit about this site that you guys are going to be building this new building on. As most of you are familiar, the site next door used to be a lumber mill. But back in the early 1900s, this wasn't always the case. Back in the early 1900s, it used to be an actual large 3-story house to a family that lived right on this neighborhood. And then, as the community grew, in the mid-1900s, it turned into a large social club. It had a restaurant, a 6-lane bowling alley right behind it, and everyone around the town knew it and came to this place. But would you be surprised to know that that building is actually the same building that's right across the street? The lumber mill was actually this social club. It was the hotspot of the community. When people came here, they had fun, they brought their families, laughter, and it had lots of entertainment going on. It was the heart of this community. So when we looked at it as designers, we asked ourselves, how can we make this site the heart for this church and for your neighbors? So for that, we're going to turn you over to Ruthie to show you the design we came up with.
Thank you, Ray. All right, so I'm going to do some pointing on this monitor over here. This is what the current site looks like today. And if you can see from far in the back, we have Talbot Ave going right here. We have Nightingale here. Here's the church where we are right now. And then here is the Lumberyard Old Social Club next door. And if you look at the image on the bottom, you can see that this is a view of these same 2 buildings from street level if you were standing across Talbot Ave. So like all good things, building a vision takes time. We've talked with Pastor Dickerson and thought about this vision and come up with a way of phasing the building of this multi-use center. So today, we're going to take you on a tour of this new design, and we're going to go step by step through the phases, how it would be built, so you can see how this site is going to develop and grow. So let's go to phase 1. So this is phase 1.
Amen.
Accessibility for all is a very important part of this design. So one of the first things we're doing is adding an elevator right here on the side of the church. This facade also updates the Greater Love facade to be the Greater Love facade. We're putting some decorations and stuff on the facade so that it owns what the church is. And you will have direct access from a new courtyard right in front into the gathering area on the ground floor of the church. So once these renovations are complete, we'll move on to phase 2, which is the renovation of the lumberyard next door.
And that's a very significant thing when she talks about having accessibility. What we face right now is people that are in wheelchairs, whether due to some debilitating injury or other circumstances. People have pride. They don't want to be carried up the stairs into the sanctuary. They want to be able to go up there on their own. So by making it accessible at the ground level and having an elevator, invites the entire community into Greater Love.
So this is the existing and newly painted lumber building as can currently be seen from Talbot Ave right now. And this is the new GLT. This building is the new home of the Future Hope apprenticeship program. An internet cafe. And the second floor is the teen cafe.
I'm going to just keep interrupting because this is important. Okay. How many of y'all know of a Starbucks in the hood?
Oh, no. None.
Okay. Guess what? It's not Starbucks, but it's going to be our own internet cafe in the hood.
All right, so this building is going to be a beacon with returning once was.
Yeah.
You can come here and come to the internet cafe, get online, meet up with your friends, interact with Greater Love. The teens can come here after school, they can come here in the evening, they can walk in through the internet cafe right here, walk up the stairs and move into their teen center. To give you an overall view of what's happening in Phase 2, you can see here, this is Phase 1, we have the church, and then Phase 2 takes the lumberyard and turns it into the new GLT center.
Yeah.
So now we're going to jump inside the teen cafe. Wow. This is the main gathering and performance area, which really sets the stage for the teen cafe's encouraging and positive environment.
I want to interrupt and say one more thing. The team, this isn't the team's vision. They met with our youth about 3 times, I believe, and this is what our youth said they wanted for their So this is a space where they can come to hang out during the day, and also a space where they can come at night. So it's a round-the-clock place for the teens to hang out in the community. All right, so once we've completed the renovations over in the lumberyard, we'll move into Phase 3, which is where we're building a new fellowship hall that will connect this church and the new GLT center. So you can best see it over here on this board. This is the fellowship hall right here. And in order to see inside, we're going to take a cut through it. So we're going to cut right in here and remove one of the walls. Flip it around. So this is a view into the inside of the fellowship hall. And you can see this wall's been taken out so you can see in. So you can see the interior seating area, which has 2 outdoor courtyards on each side. And one of the really neat things about this is that we have glass walls on the outside of the function hall, which open up so people can congregate both inside and outside. Making this a perfect place to have community barbecues or big church events. So this is the front yard of the fellowship hall. And this is a place where you can see your friends hanging out, gathering after church, or meeting up during church events. And this is the rear courtyard, which can be accessed through the function hall. And this is the real oasis of the new center. It provides a tranquil atmosphere for relaxing with friends and reflecting. And I want to add this was actually Pastor's idea, because we deal with a lot of stressful situations, and very rarely can we pull away and go to a nice private tranquil spot with like a flowing fountain and just, something just relax. This is the fountain, and I won't say we have like a huge $500 goldfish in it yet, but it's a really tranquil place. And in a stressful environment, sometimes that's what you need. So this is a really significant thing. Don't underestimate the power of having a nice, quiet place. I also want to make sure that you realize that although we don't have it on, although we don't have it on the big screen at the moment, these will remain available to you. We'll move some of them downstairs, but you'll be able to come up close and look at these different aspects of the design, because I know it's a little hard to see it from where you're sitting.
And you might see some familiar faces when you look closely at them.
Yep.
So this ends our tour of the new design. I think we'll want to hand it over to Pastor Dickerson and have an unveiling. of our model.
I want to say that this is an amazing model. When you come up and you see the detail, and this, they did it with lasers. I mean, it's amazing. It looks like a real facility. And they did it in like 3 days. Wow. So that means that these students went for a long period of time with no sleep for us.
You ought to be seated for a moment. So I'm trying to rush out the door because you'll still be in church under normal circumstances because it's not quite 12:25. We're going to have an opportunity for you all to come and look at it posted up here. But you see, what is Hutchinson? Hutchinson and Deacon Dozier, you all, if people want to go next door so they can physically see it, and I encourage all of you, to actually do that. You can go next door. And we know we're not going to use it what you see, but, that we transform and do renovations and whatnot. And so I thank God for you all.